A panel talks about their opinion on police and race in the United States.
The death of a man has led to an interconnected web of players, but what do new documents tell us about the murder of JFK?
And Winthrop's thoughts on taking a knee during the NFL season coming up.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Gibson.
And I'm Briauna Kilgore.
Over the past few years, the police shooting of an unarmed black man has caused uproar across the nation. This was the topic of discussion held at Winthrop University. Policing and Race was an event where three panelists, including Winthrop's political science professor, Adolphus Belk, from South Carolina House of Representatives, Bakari Sellers, and the director of South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, Jackie Swindler, as they talked about the different issues facing police and what it takes to work in law enforcement.
I think it's a great opportunity to be a police officer. I think you certainly need to have a servant heart and servant attitude. You have a chance to really impact lives, so you certainly want to impact it in a positive way. So the more that you can do to build relationships and to build people up and to help people, then the better we'll all be.
Due to the police shooting and unarmed people, police agencies in South Carolina require officers to go through psychological tests and determine if they are fit for a career in law enforcement. There is always a need for police officers. Currently, there are 85 openings with the Columbia Police Department.
We here at Close Up covered some of the events surrounding NFL athletes taking a knee, but Winthrop students had a chance to talk about this hot topic and more on what it means to them. The Department of Residence Life hosted #TakeAKnee to allow students to talk about not only Colin Kaepernick, but other hot topics dealing with race that are currently going on in the country. Dr. Fuller, Dr. Stanford, and Dr. Yerda from the College of Education also wanted students to understand what it means to have respectful debates on campus with other students and faculty.
A bit more globally about why should you care? How does this connect? Is this just about the NFL? Is this just about patriotism? And breaking down those ideas a bit more.
At the end, students had a chance to talk in small groups to share their thoughts on the destruction and removal of Confederate monuments. At the end of the event, students continued to share their last opinions before ending the event. It's always great when students can talk about hot topics with our peers in a respectful space.
Domestic violence is an issue that has become all too common in some relationships. Winthrop's Bevy held an event called Purple Matters, where students would recite monologues that illustrate the physical and mental abuse of domestic violence. Bevy wanted to teach students about an issue that happens to both genders every day.
We all have seen a vagina monologue before. That's when people talk about, things that go on in their life as women. So I wanted to do something similar to it. And we knew that personal stories or stories that someone has been through is more effective than just saying statistics.
On average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused in the United States, and 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have been victims of physical violence in their lifetime. If you need help with discussing any domestic violence happening in your life, contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233.
The assassination of John F. Kennedy was one of the most tragic events of the 20th century, and the new documents of the event and investigation have been released. Matthew Lee has the story.
On November 22, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald in Dallas. 2 days later, Oswald was killed by Jack Ruby. Since then, these events have been a topic of much speculation, and the release of the previously classified documents has been huge for historians.
Well, there are other pieces of the puzzle filling in the record. Unfortunately, we did not have all the pieces of the puzzle yet, and I was tremendously disappointed that some of the documents were withheld.
The National Archive has released approximately 3,000 documents pertaining to the assassination of JFK. However, the CIA has withheld approximately 18,000 documents to make redactions to them in the name of national security.
There's a part of me that has very little confidence that there's going to be an answer revealed. But then there's another part of me that says, well, if they keep hiding these things, there must be something there that's of interest.
What his relationship was with the Soviet Union, what his relationship was with Cuba, why was he going to Mexico, what was it he was trying to do there. So we were on the trail, and that's clear in the documents that have been released, but then there are these gaps in the trail. So tell us the rest of the story.
While the initial 3,000 documents did not satisfy the investigators, there were some interesting pieces to the puzzle brought up.
One document I think kind of piqued my interest, where they were interviewing the head of the CIA about whether Oswald had any activities with the CIA or the FBI prior to this assassination, because there's some theory that he did. And what's interesting about that document is they ask him the question, and then the document ends right there.
The assassination of JFK has been one of the most secretive events in history, and those secrets might be finally coming to light under heavy redaction. This has been Matthew Lee, Winthrop Close Up.
It will be interesting to see what the government doesn't want people to know about the assassination of a president.
As we approach flu season, you may want to think about getting your vaccine. Winthrop Health and Counseling Services reminds us why the flu shot is important.
It's November and Thanksgiving is just around the corner. So what kind of traditions do students celebrate? We have it coming up for you on Winthrop Close Up.
We're in the home stretch of the semester, which means that holiday breaks are on everyone's minds. Our very own Josh Rogers is in the field to see what students are looking forward to. Josh?
Thanks, you guys, and happy November. With just a few weeks left in the semester, everyone is so excited about Thanksgiving break. So I'm going to go ask around and see what kind of traditions students are looking forward to.
In the morning, while the food's being prepared, we watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Me and my little brother will make cookies. And after the parade's done, we'll watch football. By that time, food's ready, so then we'll eat.
Everyone brings a single gift, and it has to be $20 or less. And then we're all assigned numbers, and we pick gifts in that order. And then you can either get a gift or steal another person's gift and all that kind of stuff. And we do that every year at Thanksgiving because we don't get together at Christmas.
So every year we kind of reflect on the year, even though the year's not completely out. And we go around the table and we say one thing in the year that we've been thankful for and one thing that we're thankful that we have the ability to change.
My family doesn't really have any major traditions, but I think my only tradition we really have is we always go to my grandma's house and she always makes all the food for us. So grandma's mac and cheese and cream corn are pretty much my Thanksgiving tradition.
My favorite Thanksgiving tradition is just having the whole family come together for food. I think that's a really unique time, especially with my family situation. We all live in different places and live different lifestyles. So with us being able to have that one time to congregate together is pretty lit.
I hope that everyone has a great November and the rest of the semester. Back to you.
We hope that everyone has a great rest of the semester and a happy Thanksgiving.
It's a new month, and with that comes No Shave November. Close Up's own Peg and Glenn took to the streets to see what Winthrop students would be taking part in this tradition.
No Shave November is where people do not shave for the entire month of November.
This is when guys don't shave their beards for the month of November.
It's that you don't shave your face for prostate cancer, isn't it?
No Shave November is basically where guys take the month of November and they don't shave, and it's basically a charity purpose and reason behind it.
I've done it before, but I haven't done it. I'm not doing it this year.
I think it's awesome because I like beards. I think they're attractive.
I don't think anybody wants to pay me to grow out my beard. I think my girlfriend actually just wants me to shave it.
I would like to, but I can't grow a mustache, so.
This year, no. No, I don't like getting all scraggly like that.
What do you think of girls that participate in No Shave November?
Oh yeah.
That's not really me, but kudos to who does.
I mean, it's up to them.
No Shave November? I don't know. I've never actually met a girl that participated.
I mean, I feel like that's cool too. Everybody can participate. It's their business.
More power to you.
These students have a pretty good idea about the concept of this idea. We'll see if they can make it all the way through the month.
For some students traveling all the way home just to see their family dot castle, luckily Winthrop's health offices offers many services for students close by. Winthrop's Health and Counseling Services offers flu shots here on campus. One professional tells us the importance of a flu shot, especially here on a college setting.
Highly, highly recommend it for all students. If you get the flu, you are probably going to be out of class about a week. The flu shot's not just for your own protection, but it's for other people's protection, because some people that have other health issues could end up in the hospital with the flu that they might get from another person.
Students have already started getting their vaccines on campus. Health Services also shared that it takes about 2 weeks for the vaccine to become effective, so it is better to get a flu shot early on. If you are in need of a flu shot, you can walk into Health Services anytime during their open hours, and you do not have to stay and wait around afterwards.
Winthrop student athletes are frequently recognized for their performance during games, but recently they have been recognized for their performance in the classroom. Reporter Rasmus Arousell tells us more. Rasmus?
I'm here at the Coliseum, where the student athletes had a record-breaking spring semester in 2017, reaching an average GPA of 3.22, the highest recorded in history. Both the staff and the students are to be credited for this.
The coaches are doing a really good job of recruiting folks who are dedicated to academics, as well as also being good athletes. And then also there's a whole bunch of resources on Winthrop's campus.
Even though the recruiting classes tend to follow a high academic standard, nothing is left to chance when making sure that the students reach their full academic potential.
When we have mandatory study hall, it's because they're actually studying. And then when we do, we send out a report. We don't only get midterm grades from the university, but we send out a report to get a grade to see exactly what that student is doing. And all incoming freshmen, transfer students, have weekly meetings with us. We know where our students are.
All incoming freshmen are required to do at least 6 hours of study hall each week in the facilities at the Coliseum. With hard work and strict rules, the athletic department is determined to keep pushing their students. I'm Rasmus Arousell, Winthrop Close Up.
Thanks, Rasmus. Student athletes have steadily increased their average GPA over the last semesters, and the increase might keep going.
And coming up, we'll meet Winthrop's new Greek Life Assistant Director.
Looking for a fun and cheap way to wind down your Monday night? We have the solution coming up.
Amber Jolly came to Winthrop from Johnson & Wales University. She says one thing that she enjoys about Winthrop is working with a diverse group of students. Now, Amber said she is not trying to change the world just yet as the assistant director here at the university, but she would like to see our faculty and staff be more involved and engaged in the Greek community.
And I'm excited to be here and to be able to work with and to meet with the students. They are really passionate about their organizations and what's happening in our communities.
Now, Amber said she is not trying to change the world just yet as the assistant director here at the university, but she would like to see our faculty and staff be more involved and engaged in the Greek community. Before her job here at Winthrop, Amber was working at Johnson & Wales University.
Well, artists need homes too. And now that the Charlotte Art League, which is a home for artists, has been bought out of their contract early, we wonder what is going to happen to the artists that live here now.
With a lot of the gentrification that is happening in Charlotte over the last few years, a lot of places that are homes for artists, such as the Charlotte Art League, go from this to this, the beginning of high-rise apartments. The issue is, the artists that are housed at the Charlotte Art League and many other art spaces around Charlotte need homes too. And now that the Charlotte Art League has been bought out, we have to wonder what's going to happen to the artists that have been here all these years.
Well, the fact that they lost their lease, they've known for a while that it was impending, and they've been looking for a location, from my understanding, and I really don't know where people are going to go. There are a few places in town that people already do have that accept commission art, that you can hang art and stuff. So maybe they'll get an influx of people, but there's only so much wall space out there, so I don't know right now.
According to Tommy, a lot of the artists are starting to shift towards online sales through their personal websites and Etsy pages. That's not the route that Tommy's going to go, but through all this, she has nothing but positive things to say about the Art League.
But they still have always had wonderful art, and yeah, I've made lifelong friends from being here.
Well, now that the Charlotte Art League has been bought out, we can only hope that this trend doesn't lead to a Charlotte completely devoid of culture. This is Kevin Arousell for Winthrop Close Up.
Hopefully this gets creative students out in the community to share their own art in the Charlotte areas.
Do you like to hang out with friends and only spend a little bit of money for a good time? Well, every Monday night, Strikers Bowling Alley hosts Dollar Bowling Night, where each person only has to pay $1 per game.
It's just like a good goofball fun. Like you can be really great and brag about it and like have a good time in that way, or you can just suck and it'd be really fun and really funny and like just having a good time and letting loose and it not being something that's super expensive.
Strikers offers great fun for any college student who had a long Monday and has $5 to spend. To find out more about Dollar Bowling Night, check out Strikers' website at strikersSC.com.
Student debt is a struggle that many college students face once they graduate. Although Winthrop students shouldn't worry too much because there's help for them. 84% of Winthrop's class of 2016 graduated with loan debt. Those students have an overall average of $30,000 in debt. Michelle Hare, Director of Financial Aid, tells students that preparations can start now. Hare also suggests looking online at the amount you owe so you can know how much you will be expected to pay when you graduate. Winthrop students can enroll in a financial literacy class offered during both semesters or attend any events on campus related to student debt to get better understanding of their loan repayment.
Well, those were actually great tips for college students to save money. I know me personally as a college student, it's definitely tough for me to save money and also gain money. So
it's always hard. And I hope everyone also has a good Thanksgiving break with all the tips we just learned.
Oh yeah, and eat lots of food.
Yes.
That's it for this episode of Winthrop Close Up.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. See you next time on Winthrop Close Up.
I'm ready to have some turkey.
Yes.